Well, as more updates come out about the next gen Mustang, I gotta tell you, the more that comes out, the less excited I become. So let's talk about some of the new details about the next gen Mustang and why I'm less excited than I was. So truth be told, I've actually been really anxious to learn more details about the S650 chassis and the new Mustang and all that, being a proud, happy owner of a S650 Mustang. Yeah, I was pretty excited about the next gen Mustang. You know, the way it sounds, the way they're doing this, it's like, you know, it's still using the same basic platform, but heavily going over it. Essentially the same, but it's not. So I've been pretty excited, and it's not only because I've been excited that it's this new platform, it's gonna have new stuff, and, you know, new technologies, but I was excited because I thought it was gonna have new technologies to make it faster. You know, they started saying that the next gen Mustang's gonna have a hybrid system, and it's going to have all-wheel drive and this, that, and the other. And you know, for the most part, to a purist, that might sound bad, but I was hoping for a completely different type of all-wheel drive system. See, for me, I was hoping that they would use wheel motors in the front wheels, not like an actual differential and transfer case and all that. No. The hybrid system would be part of driving the front wheels with electric motors. So you're essentially still a rear-wheel drive car with the front wheels being optionally driven by electric motors, which could help with, greatly help with acceleration, mind you. You know, and of course with the hybrid technology, you can just putt around without having the gas engine on. You know, there's a lot of cool benefits, but the big benefit was the performance benefit, the benefit of having the extra traction from all-wheel drive and being able to accelerate quickly. See, it's not that the car doesn't have enough power, it's just it doesn't have enough traction. Even this car with the 4-cylinder EcoBoost cannot do the type of acceleration it's capable of because it's limited by traction. It's just plain and simple. All-wheel drives are quicker. That's just how it is. So I was really excited over that until recently, because Ford has just announced that there will be no all-wheel drive Mustang ever, supposedly. So, okay, well, I guess there goes all my hopes and dreams of this crazy hybrid all-wheel drive Mustang that can do 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds flat with a roaring V8, and I guess that's no longer a possibility. Nope. Moving on, I guess. So this is an article from Ford Authority. It's basically just going over, you know, Ford officially admitting that they will not offer an all-wheel drive Mustang. This is actually really sad to me, because I thought this is what was going to make this next-gen Mustang really stand out against all of the other cars, performance-wise, that's in its class, while still doing what they need to do to keep the EPA figures up, which will keep the Mustang around longer with these stupid, ever-increasing government regulations on fuel efficiency. So I was really happy when this was first kind of talked about. But they never stopped saying that there won't be a hybrid. They never said that. They just said there won't be all-wheel drive. So now with that said, I'm assuming that any all-wheel drive implementation of the next-gen Mustang will use something similar like you see in the F-150, where the electric motor is actually integrated into the transmission. This actually would be an easy solution for Ford, because F-150 also uses the 10R80 transmission. They can just use that same transmission with the electric motor integrated and just put it in the Mustang. It's all fine and dandy. But look, I don't know for sure how much of a performance benefit that will give the Mustang, but I have a feeling it ain't gonna be much, because the biggest problem with giving a Mustang more power is traction. So if you're just giving more power via an electric motor, which is instant torque, to the rear wheels, which already has traction issues, I can't imagine it's really going to benefit too much. It might fill in some of the gaps where torque is low until the engines can build up to their, you know, peak torque range. But other than that, I don't see the gain, the benefit, performance benefit, that great at all if you're just using an electric motor that drives the same wheels as the gas engine. I see the benefit being no better than just tuning the existing powertrains versus stock. So that's really a bummer. So in essence, in theory, we're not really getting a performance benefit. If so, it's going to be minimal, right? Versus where it would have been with an all-wheel drive system with electric motors. You will gain some efficiency because you have a hybrid system, and yeah, it will save some gas. At what cost? If the performance benefit in terms of acceleration isn't that great, and you get a slight improvement in fuel efficiency, but guess what else you're doing? You're adding a bunch of weight. You're adding weight to the car with the additional equipment needed for the hybrid system, the battery pack, all that stuff. You know, that's adding hundreds of pounds of weight. And I don't know, man, the Mustang already is getting pretty chunky as it is. You know, some of the top end models, because of the extra stuff that's on them, like the GT500 and stuff, they're actually pretty heavy, man. GT500 is over 4,000 pounds. That's crazy. Like, thankfully, my car is still like 3,600 pounds, which is still heavy, but compared to the GT500 is light, and you can feel it. So I can't imagine taking the existing platform, which can already go up to over 4,000 pounds, and then adding even more weight to it. And not to say that maybe they changed some things about the S650 that helps save weight, or to at least counter the extra weight that they're adding with the hybrid system. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're just adding more weight. It's going to be a heavier car with the hybrid system. So it just, to me, doesn't even make sense, because the Mustang is a performance car. So you're not really giving it much performance by adding a hybrid system like that. You are giving it some efficiency benefits, but you're adding weight, which is going to, you know, offset anything you really give it in terms of more power. So it's a shame that this is what we found out about the new Mustang. Now, even more so, there's just so much details coming out now that just saddens me, quite honestly. So now that we know that there's going to be no all-wheel drive, and that there will be a hybrid system, but likely not really be any bit beneficial to performance whatsoever, there's also rumors, and I don't know if it's really been confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt, that there will be no manual for the next gen. Now, I know with the hybrid system, they physically cannot offer a manual transmission. It has to be the automatic, obviously. However, my understanding is that hybrid system was supposed to be optional. So if it's optional, then there's no reason that they still can't offer a manual transmission. Not to say that the manual transmission take rate is very high. I would have bought a manual HPP EcoBoost if that's what I found, but this is just a car I went to go look at. It just happened to be an automatic. Yeah, the automatic's fun and it's faster, but I love manual transmissions too, even though the MT82 is garbage. And I think that's a real big reason why the take rate's lower on, you know, the current gen Mustang. But that's a story for a whole nother video. I still think it's wrong that Ford will not give the option at all. Now, I really don't know if that's true. I really would be surprised if they said no more manuals whatsoever. That would really be a kick to the nads for, you know, avid Mustang enthusiasts who have to have the manual. They won't be buying a next-gen Mustang. Now we know that the performance is not really going to be outstanding like we were first hoping. We still don't know what the looks are. You know, that's been a controversial topic. Okay, I just have to cut in real quick. So while I was gathering all of the things I needed to make this video, I noticed another new article from Ford Authority, which absolutely blew my mind. This article was released today, April 13th, and it is just the biggest blow to this entire story here of the new Mustang. And that's with this new actual leaked photos of what the front end of the Mustang looks like, and it looks almost identical to the renders that I personally did not like. And oh my God, I cannot actually believe this is what it's going to look like on the front end. It really is a de-evolution styling wise, if you asked me, over the current S650 Mustang. It looks like what the first gen S650 Mustang would have looked like with a refresh that it never got, because it just ended up becoming what it currently is. Personally, I think the current styling is perfect, and it really wouldn't have been too many reasons to change it. I loved how the front end just looks so sleek and smooth. It just looks low and aggressive. But it seems that Ford has designed it to be more or less like the first gen S650, with the flatter, more raised front end. The headlights look nice, but they're just not that aggressive look. It just looks like a step backwards. And this really is just absolutely devastating to see, on top of all the other news that I'm, putting in this video. So yeah, there's that. All right, enough of me. Let's get back onto the rest of it. So on top of that, the other, not bad news, but not it is what it is the interior. There's been pictures of the interior leaked. I don't hate it. I find it weird that they swapped the vents, in the infotainment system. They put the vents in the middle and infotainment system up top, and I get that because that's a very common design cue now with modern interiors, where they basically integrate the infotainment system into the gauge cluster to make it look like one full seamless screen, or at least to put all of that in the same space, so your line of sight is all in the same area. I get that, but it's just a little weird because they had to relocate the vents in the middle, and that just looks a little strange to me. It's not bad, and it looks good. They went away with the circle vents and went with rectangular vents, and it looks fine. Some people say it looks like a Fox body. I digress. I don't know if they've ever owned a Fox body. The dash looks nothing like a Fox body at all, other than the rectangular vents. But it looks good. I love the fact they still kept the gear lever and not rotary dial. Not to say I hate the rotary dial. I just like the aesthetics of the actual shift lever, personally. So I'm glad they kept that, at least. And the interior definitely is a great evolutionary change for the Mustang. That's the best part of all of it, is knowing what the interior is likely going to look like. Everything else is So yeah, there's still so much unknown, and we're really not going to know anything until Ford officially reveals the vehicle. Maybe they're pulling our leg. Maybe they're just trying to suppress some of the theories going around. Maybe there will be an all-wheel drive Mustang. Who freaking knows, man? No one's gonna know until that car is released and we know all the actual details. But for now, this is what it is. This is the information we got, and I just want to talk about it. So hopefully by the time it's released, Ford announces some things about the next gen Mustang that's gonna bring my enthusiasm back up to the high level it was, so I can get excited about one of my favorite cars of all time, the Ford Mustang. Anyway, it's gonna be it for this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for next true car enthusiast video.